Hello, I'm OSpeaks. If you're new here, please like, subscribe, share. Also known as OSpeaks, by the way. What's going on, John? How you doing, sir? So today we're going to get right into it. The title of this live is "The Cover-Up of Joe Biden's Decline Gets Exposed," and I'm going to give a timeline. So we're going to get right to it. Let me pull this video up. We watched the decline of Joe Biden, and all we heard was "Don't believe your lying eyes." And this was a pattern. They did it with absolutely everything. Yeah, this is what you see, but it's not really what you see. So we're going to start off immediately with the end of Joe Biden's first year. He did a press conference, and that's where we're going to begin.
Schools are closing. Go back and read what I said. I didn't overpromise, but I have probably outperformed what anybody thought would happen.
Why do you suppose such large segments of the American electorate have come to harbor such profound concerns about your cognitive fitness? Thank you.
I have no idea.
Polls show almost 2/3 of Americans think the United States is on the wrong track. That is the second worst percentage since they started tracking it during Jimmy Carter's presidency. And a recent Quinnipiac poll showed only 25% of independents approve of Biden's job as president.
I often see empty shelves being shown on television. 89% are full, which is only a few points below what it was before the pandemic. Like I said, you have a circumstance where people are paying more for a pound of hamburger meat than they ever paid.
We turn now to food manufacturers across the country announcing a new round of price increases coming to consumers in 2022.
The price of milk, 4.6 higher than a year ago. Bread up 4%. Poultry, fish, and eggs 13% higher.
So the entire time this was happening, you heard them. Not all schools are closing when they literally shut down all schools. And this was obviously after we sat and initially accepted the nonsense. But then at some point, people started getting restless and like, hey, wait a minute. When are we going to open back up? What are we doing here? And even Trump tried to open back up. Fauci kept lying, saying, pushing people for the jab, talking about vaccinations as if that was the only way to open back up. And then the more people did it, the more they stood firm on not opening up. It was really interesting because this all happened under Trump. So when Biden got in, they said that the adults were in the room. Right? That's what they said. And what does he do? Mandates. Okay, not everyone has to get it. If you don't get it, you don't go back to work. And a lot of companies were doing the same thing. All federal employees were forced to stay home. And I'm playing these to find out who was really doing this stuff. Because we saw what they did with Biden. He was in the basement the whole first election or the whole first campaign. He wasn't doing any of this stuff. Who was really running the country? Exactly. My body, my choice. What's going on, Miss Just J? How you doing? So who was really calling these shots? It wasn't him. He had no idea what was going on. So that was the end of the first year. People were talking about his cognitive decline. And again, he was hidden the entire first campaign. In 2020, they just kept him in the basement. The media did all of the campaigning for him. Why? So now we see we spent trillions in Afghanistan over the 15 years. I don't know how long we were there. Trillions of dollars. Trillions of dollars. So now we enter the second stage of his presidency, and well, we'll see what happened. Because it didn't get better.
The Afghan military immediately surrendered to the Taliban after the US withdrawal. The billions and billions of dollars spent training and arming the Afghans was apparently wasted. As American forces tried desperately to hold on to the Kabul airport for the final withdrawal, a terrorist who was just freed from prison during the retreat carried out a suicide attack that killed 13 US service members. Soon after, the US launched a drone strike that managed to kill 10 civilians, including 7 children. The administration denied for weeks that the strike was a massive mistake, and once they did admit the error, no one was held accountable.
Now, in my last live, I went over the Afghanistan pullout because there was a congressional hearing on it. So it brought everything back up. So this is all tying together. It brought everything back up, and now we're going over the timeline of Joe Biden's decline. And here he is speaking on things, and what he's saying did not match reality. So I'm not sure he even knew what was going on. He definitely was not calling the shots. And that's the issue that I have. And at the end of this video, you're going to hear somebody directly who directly dealt with him, spoke with him on a daily basis. And you're going to hear him saying some insane stuff.
And I make no apologies for what I did. I have a great concern for the women and men who were blown up on the line at the airport by a terrorist attack against them.
That didn't happen just once. That happened on every single one that came out of that airplane.
And what he's talking about is Joe Biden during the service when they were bringing the 13 soldiers back. He kept checking his watch as if he had something better to do that day. And it was infuriating people like this person who was the family of some of the people who were slain. And he just kept checking his watch. It's like he had something else to do in it. That was so disrespectful. So disrespectful. And what this gentleman says is he did it every time they brought a new body out, he was acting as if he had something else to do, checking his watch. So while he's talking about the soldiers,
concern for the women and men who were blown up on the line at the airport,
he kept doing that
by a terrorist attack against them.
That didn't happen just once. That happened on every single one that came out of that airplane. It happened on every single one of them.
And Corn Pop was a bad dude.
So now this is just weird stuff.
Get your words straight, Jack.
Speaking of voting rights legislation, if this isn't passed, do you still believe the upcoming election will be fairly conducted and its results will be legitimate?
Well, it all depends on whether or not we're able to make the case to the American people that some of this is being set up to try to alter the outcome of the election.
So here he was. This is after his first year. They literally tried to lock Trump up over this, over saying the election was rigged. Literally. Anyone who said, hey, no, I don't think it was legit, they accused you of being a threat to democracy. But this is after his first year. This is him saying it. And the media called him out on it. But they didn't take him to task like they did you or me. If I put that on social media, misinformation, disinformation. And they literally put under every post about the results of the election were fair and the freest, fairest election of all time. Most secure election ever. But here you have this fool at the end of his first year saying the exact same thing. They tried to lock Trump up over this. They said he knew he lost the election and he lied about it in order to cause an insurrection. That's what they said.
Conducted and its results will be legitimate.
Well, it all depends on whether or not we're able to make the case to the American people that some of this is being set up to try to alter the outcome of the election.
It is striking to hear an American president not named Donald Trump raise questions about the legitimacy and sanctity of our democracy. I get the point he was trying to make.
Strikingly, the president said that the upcoming midterm elections might not be legitimate if the election reform bills before the Senate are not passed.
It's the same thing that they went after Trump on. What's going on, CP3? What's going on, G. Will? So this is leading into the 2022 elections because they thought it was going to be a slaughter. So he was getting ahead of it, claiming election tampering. How many hundreds of times, if not more, have you heard anyone who denies it is a threat to democracy? Donald Trump is a threat to. He still won't concede the election. This dude was saying it before the 2022 election. I guess that's okay. Again, what was going on during these times? Why was he acting so weird? And how is it possible that this man is the person running the country? Why'd they even leave him in office now for the last few months since Kamala, since she started running? How is he running the country? He doesn't know what's going on. everything they say or accuse you of is what they're doing. That's what this is.
Did you overpromise to the American public what you could achieve in your first year in office? And how do you plan to course correct going forward?
Why are you such an optimist? Look, I didn't overpromise, but I have probably outperformed what anybody thought would happen.
He said he outperformed everything that would happen. And again, this is all in 2021, him saying this stuff. At the end of 2021. The demic was at an all-time high. Everywhere, every Democratic state and city were still locked down. Kids were still not in school. Nurses were being fired. Firemen, policemen were being fired. Nurses were being did I say nurses? Nurses were being fired. and he's, we did a great job. It's a great job. I believe he was being told that everyone loved him and he's doing a great job. That's why he got so frustrated when the media would question him. CP3 said after that first year of failure and the approval rate dropped dramatically. Yep. Yeah, we talked about it. Dropped dramatically. He knew he didn't have another. I don't think he knew anything. To be honest, I think they were feeding him stuff. I don't think he wrote any of his executive orders. I don't think he knew what he openly said, "What am I signing?" when he was signing his executive orders. He had no idea what was going on the whole time. The whole time. Look at him. Now I found this via the Sun, and these are all just weird things that he's done over his 4 years in office. This was very weird. Definitely an old puppet. Ain't coming near my baby.
And now I want to hand it over to the president of Ukraine, who has as much courage as he has determination. Ladies and gentlemen, President Putin. President Putin. He's going to beat President Putin. President Zelensky. I'm so focused on beating Putin, we got to worry about it. Anyway, Mr. President.
I'm better.
You are a hell of a lot better.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. Thank you very much.
And this is after he fell off of his bike. This is after he fell and broke his foot before he got in the White House. He was clearly having issues. His dog, I don't think his dog got put down. They just had to remove the dog from the White House because it kept biting Secret Service agents. The most powerful man in the world.
I wouldn't have picked Vice President Trump to be vice president, but I think she was not qualified to be president. So let's start there. We got to just remember who the hell we are. We're the United States of America.
By the way, I'm proud to be, as I said, the first vice president, first black woman to serve with a black president. I'm proud of the first black woman in the Supreme Court. There's just so much that we can do.
Listen, but guess what? They want to, the guy we're running against, what's his name? Donald Dump or Donald, whatever. What I'm going to do is fix the tax system. For example, we have 1,000 trillionaires in America. I mean, billionaires in America. And what's happening? They're in a situation where they, in fact, pay 8.2% in taxes. If they just paid 24%, 25%, either one of those numbers, they'd raise $500 million, billion dollars, I should say, in a 10-year period, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the with the COVID, with dealing with everything we have to do with, look,
that was bad.
If we finally beat Medicare.
When this happened is when they said, all right, we got to do something. Because now everyone sees it. And this was July, I guess, July, August, somewhere around there. This is when they replaced him. Right after this, they started looking for somebody else. Finally beat Medicare. He just woke up. Dude fell asleep on stage. But this wasn't new to people who paid attention. We've known this the whole time. We saw it. The problem was, if you didn't really pay attention, the media was feeding you that he's super sharp. Very, 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 very sharp. A lot of people in this cabinet were talking about, oh my God, he runs laps around us. Okay. All right. You're just going to lie right in front of our faces. You're playing right in our faces.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump?
Well, he's right. He did beat Medicare. He beat it to death, and he's destroying Medicare.
Joe, you did such a great job. You answered every question. You knew all
Fine.
And let me ask the crowd, what did Trump do? Lie! Yes.
Look at him.
So, Joe, I'm going to hand it over to you because we have such a great group of supporters here. So thank you all for coming.
I legitimately believe she was a big factor in who was running the country. I believe there were a bunch of advisors who were telling him what to do or telling her what to do. And then she just said, okay, let's do it. She was running the country. Who else? It was not him. It can't be him. Yeah, she's talking to him like he's 3. You did so good. You're such a big boy. You answered all the questions. You're supposed to. And he's just in there.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Appreciate it. You've been here the whole time. I see it. I see that patch here.
It's when Obama had to come back and get him. He's just standing there. Just waiting. And this was not long after the Easter Bunny had to come save him from questions. They clearly had somebody who was communicating with him, dressed up in an Easter Bunny outfit, and he just wanders off to the side, starts talking to reporters. They're like, no, he can't talk to reporters. They'll see him. So the Easter Bunny ran, grabbed him, and steered him away. Several times while he was speaking to reporters, they would cut off the microphones and just escort him out. All right, time to go, time to go, time to go. What? This is why the world is the way it is right now after the last 4 years. It's completely fallen apart. And I believe there are extreme anarchist leftists who've been running everything, which is why the border's been left open. Terrorism is running wild all over the world. We're spending money to keep him and his son out of an extortion case, international extortion case from Ukraine. And look at him. He was just standing there waiting for somebody to guide him. So many times he said, what am I supposed to be doing? I don't know what I'm saying. And he keeps these fists when he's walking, like he's terrified to walk.
Republic of Brazil, accompanied by the Director General of the International Ladies Organization.
President Biden, can you hear me? You can? Yes, good. And so...
It's on his phone or something. Walk up. He's just roaming. And this happened multiple times. It's not funny, but it's like this is the most powerful man on earth. I don't know if you guys remember when he fell off that bike. That was brutal. He's riding and he started falling. He didn't even try to stop himself. The most powerful man on earth. This is the man who's supposedly calling the shots on everything. He's making all the decision. Final decision is with the president. How? This guy. Every time he walked, everyone's nervous. There was nothing on the floor. Well, watch what he does. There's nothing there. Tripped over that. He didn't appear to fall asleep. He's knocked out. This is not appearing to fall asleep. He is knocked out. He didn't open his eyes. He fell asleep. And we've seen that several times at multiple dinners and international functions. He just if he didn't have on that mask, his mouth probably was wide open. This is the man who they told us was sharp. This is his first 4 years. This isn't even when he was vice president, because it started back then.
Carolina announced its $100 incentive today. Places that have offered $100. That'd be really good. I'd go back and get vaccinated 3 times. But all kidding aside, offered the $100 to get vaccination, have seen an uptick of 25% on daily vaccination rates. I caught part of President Putin's press conference, and he talked about the need for us to be able to have some kind of modus operandi where we dealt with making sure the Arctic was, in fact, a free zone. So-called Great Recession. The president asked me to be in charge of managing that piece, then President Trump. Excuse me, Freudian slip. That was the last president. He caused, anyway, that was President Obama when I was vice president. There is some movement, and I don't want to, let me choose my words. There's some movement.
Remember your words.
There's been a response from the opposition, but yes, I'm sorry.
A reporter literally had to say Hamas to help him out. Literally, Hamas. Yeah, Hamas. Yeah, repeat the line, and he just he's reading the cues. That he's done that several times.
From Hamas at the meeting. If you don't have a game plan, he may have a game plan. He just hasn't shared it with me. But I tell you what, I don't know about you, but I'm going to go to bed.
To what extent has Vladimir Putin been weakened by recent events? It's hard to tell, but he's clearly losing the war in Iraq, he's losing the war at home, and he is.
Putin is fighting Ukraine. He said Putin's clearly losing the war in Iraq. And they dismiss this stuff as innocent little gaffes. Oh, that's crazy, Uncle Joe. He's been doing this for years now. He has not been running the country. And it's worse than a puppet, because at least you can see who's controlling the puppet. You can see who's holding the strings. We don't know. They weren't elected, I can guarantee you that, because it definitely wasn't Kamala running the country. Who was it? Who's been running the country the last 4 years?
As you know, initially, the president of Mexico, Sisi, did not want to open up the gate to allow humanitarian material to get in. I talked to him. I convinced him to open the gate.
You didn't even know his name.
He got shot down in New Guinea, and they never found the body because there used to be a lot of cannibals for real in that part of New Guinea.
He suggested that person who got shot down was eaten by cannibals. No one knows where that came from because they looked into it. They're like, I don't know what he's talking about. He's just saying stuff that came to mind. It's like almost like a old person's version of Tourette's. He just speaks. Cannibals?
Increase economic growth. Folks, imagine what we can do next.
Here we go.
4 more years.
Pause.
Pause. 4 more years. 4 more years. Pause. And the erectionists who stormed Capitol
The
Hill,
erectionists.
patriots. He said,
The January 6th erectionists. Pretty sure that's not what they were. Pretty sure they weren't erectionists. Pretty sure. And he's hacking away before he doesn't cover. Like, when he hacks, he's like, and he'll do it into the mic. He'll turn toward the mic and do it. 4 more years. Pause. Yeah, you're supposed to pause for their chants. You're not supposed to say pause. The erectionist, then he should have said pause.
4 more years. Pause. 4 more years. 4 more years. Pause. And the erectionists who stormed Capitol Hill, patriots. He says if reelected, he wants, quote, every one of them.
Those horrible erectionists. They stormed the Capitol. This is who they say was running the country. Can you imagine the meetings that he was having with foreign leaders and why they're so scared of Trump when he came back? This is what they were dealing with. They could say anything to him and it wouldn't matter. Now they have actual accountability. They're like, crap, we actually got it. It's like when the real teacher comes back, substitute's not here anymore. We got to do our homework. This is. The whole world is like that classroom.
Hard. All right, what am I doing now? Still my jersey? I want to know who the hell Nathan's haberdasher is. I like his dress, man, I tell you. Looking good, Nathan.
That was. He's just frozen. His strange smile. Look at his hand. Nothing's moving. He's like frozen in time as everything around him's moving. He's like a cutout that was just put there. One more time. Come on.
I'll circle around. I'll meet you around.
So, what just came out yesterday that put my other live on hold? Once again, they got another government official who was caught off a dating app bragging to a woman about what he knows. Now, I did a live a while back about a CIA guy. He was a contractor who worked for the CIA, and he was just bragging about all the stuff he knows, all the top secret access he had. Here's another one. This guy is a National Security Council advisor. And James O'Keefe, once again, is exposing somebody off of a dating app. I don't understand how this happens. Like I said, they've caught spies. They've caught Planned Parenthood executives. They've just caught so many people, so many government officials off of these dating apps that will come and literally give you top secret information or even worse. This is even worse than top secret, in my opinion. Listen to what this idiot says. Yeah, they talk too much. Oh, they definitely talk too much. As you're going to find out, you're going to see right here what this guy says. And he's going to expose what the name of this live is.
Henry Appel, an advisor at the Intelligence Programs Directorate for the National Security Council. Within the NSC, Henry Appel works within the Intelligence Programs Directorate. According to multiple government websites, The division is responsible for overseeing and coordinating intelligence activities across various U.S. intelligence agencies, providing the NSC with crucial intelligence analysis to inform national security decision-making, essentially acting as the primary point of contact between the intelligence community and the National Security Council on intelligence matters. Henry met our OMG American Swiper on a dating app in Washington, D.C., and spoke more in depth about his NSC job and his background, even mentioning he was a spy at one point in his career.
And this is the same thing. I did a whole live on this. This is the same thing. They all do the same thing. They will literally give you government secrets. Some woman he met off of a dating app. No, they go on to dating apps. I guess there's some that are for people in DC, and they meet these people, and then what O'Keefe does is genius. It's so simple. He just bugs the person. They have the conversation. It's not a consent state, so they don't have to tell them that they recorded them. And these people go out on dates, and they just give information. They brag about who they are, how important they are. CP3, I did a whole live on this dude from the CIA. It was wild what he was saying. He's just telling a complete stranger all this stuff about who he is, and he's a spy and all this stuff. It's like, dude, you have access to the most secret of secret stuff. What are you doing? So now he's bragging to this woman about his career in intelligence that he was a spy.
I work, I started my career working like intelligence. So I work in the intelligence programs directorate of the National Security Council. So we give like all of the senior policymakers like all the secrets,
all of
like diplomacy and international relations, like war, like war in Ukraine. My office is like super involved in
Me too, feeling. How was that drawing?
Terrible.
For
a while, I thought I was going to be a spy.
You thought what?
I thought I was going to be a spy. And I did that for a little while.
He did it for a little while. Yeah, on video. They don't know they're on video. These people, she's wearing a bug. But they catch them on video. Full audio and video. Hold on, I'm going to show you. Oh, 1 second. This is just for you, CP3. These idiots. They go on and they brag about stuff that just no one should know. I'm going to find one right now. Find that last one because it's insane. And James O'Keefe has been doing this for years. They literally have been going after him for a decade at least. It's been about a decade. But it's because he does this and they hate that he catches them. I'm looking for that last one because it's hilarious. Got one. Yep, got one. This is one talking about January 6th and how they set it up. And we just found that out actually yesterday or the day before. The IG, Inspector General, did an investigation and they found out. CP3, save this one. Save that. The Inspector General found out that there were 26 federal agents and assets involved in January 6th. And me and Andre Dub did a whole live on this. We did a whole live on January 6th and how I knew that there was, I don't want to call them. They were federal agitators. And they literally were instigating what happened on January 6th. So yesterday or the day before, the IG came out, Inspector General came out with a report, and it says that the feds had 26 assets on the ground, and I think all but 6 were engaged in illegal activity. Illegal activity. Unforced whistleblowers. Yeah. All of them but 6. So 20 were literally breaking windows, destroying stuff, agitating the crowd, instigating. Did any of them get arrested? No, absolutely not. They're assets. That's why in that one, when I covered that one oversight committee thing. The FBI, the head of the FBI was like, I can't comment. Every time he was like, were there as FBI agents on the ground on January 6th? Can't comment. They can't compromise. What's the language? Like, we can't compromise sources and methods. So she couldn't answer, which is a yes, because he's like, well, were any of them doing anything illegal? I can't answer that due to I can't remember the exact phrasing, but I can't tell you. Essentially, it's classified. So now we're sitting here. What's going on, Mike? So now we're sitting here watching another person unwittingly let a complete stranger know, a civilian. He doesn't even know her, and he's giving her secrets. And this happens over and over and over again. They're idiots. But January 6th, now we know for sure there are federal assets in there. You can't, what they're calling it now is the largest case of entrapment of all time. Before that, Wisconsin, the governor of Wisconsin, I can't remember her name. She was supposedly about to, Gretchen Whitmer was supposedly about to get kidnapped. And then they arrested the guys, and then they found out that it wasn't even their idea. It was federal agents' idea. They got these guys to go along with their plan to kidnap the governor. And then when the guys actually, they provided the weapons, they provided all the I think they provided the vehicle, everything that they were going to use. And as soon as the guy said yes, they arrested him for conspiracy to kidnap the governor. It's like, well, wait a minute, you can't set it all up and then you get a guy to say, all right, I'll do it, and then you arrest him. That's literally entrapment. And all those guys got off over that. But this is what the government does. And now here's this idiot. Listen to O'Keefe describe what this guy does. And listen to what this idiot says. He says what the entire right has known this entire time. But the left is, no. Conspiracy theory. Everything's a conspiracy theory.
Prior to the undercover meeting, Henry informed our swiper on a text that he had a, quote, lot of tea to spill. Then in the meeting, Henry stated again, here's some tea, and spilled that tea on President Joe Biden's cognitive issues.
Well, here's some tea. Joe Biden is like dead. Like he can't just say a sentence.
He just said Joe Biden's dead. He was like, not literally, but he can't even say a sentence. Well, the right has been saying this since 2019. But here this guy is, the National Security Council advisor, saying, yeah, he's not sentient. He doesn't know what's going on. He can't even say a sentence. He's telling a complete stranger, a regular civilian. Before they got together and on this date, he texted her, ooh, I got a lot of tea to tell you. What is this? How is this possible? This just came out yesterday. How is this possible? I got a whole live stream on the drones. That's going to be a good one. I don't know when I'm going to be able to do it, but I got a whole live stream on it. This came out yesterday, and here we have a National Security Council advisor saying Joe Biden can't even say a sentence, and he's just telling this random woman that he met on a dating website. This is how stuff gets leaked. Nobody knows what's going on. Wow, how did this stuff get leaked? There's some idiot on Tinder. Well, how do you think people are finding out everything? These morons are telling people. They're bragging about what they know. Listen to
President Joe Biden's cognitive issues.
Well, here's some tea. Joe Biden is like dead. Like he can't just say a sentence. He's like really progressed in his old age. Everybody recognized. I can't believe it wasn't a bigger scandal last.
He said, everybody recognize it. I can't believe this wasn't a bigger scandal earlier. Well, the media has been covering it up. It's incredible. But if a glass of wine is enough to have somebody who literally liaises between the Department of Defense, the Pentagon, and all these other top secret agencies, probably shouldn't be drinking. Probably shouldn't be drinking. Yeah. He got all excited when he realized he got a date with a real female. Yeah. This is the little nerd that you used to smack in the back of the head. Well, not everybody did. I never did. I never did. I never took anyone's chocolate milk. I never took anyone's snacks. I would never do something like that. But this is that guy. Not only was he not properly vetted, she didn't even ask. So even if he was, he's volunteer. He texted her ahead of time saying, "Oh, wait till we go out." Trying to guarantee she comes or something. She's gonna, yeah. When she shows up, I'm gonna tell her all the tea. I'm gonna tell her how everyone knew that Joe Biden is gone. He's not there.
Henry Appel from the National Security Council revealed a phone call exchange he had with President Joe Biden. On the call, Biden was asking for NSC advisor Jake Sullivan. Henry told Biden that Sullivan had left the office for the day. Biden stated he would call Sullivan's personal phone. Instead, Biden called the same office 10 seconds later asking for Sullivan again. Biden asked, "Is Jake Sullivan there?" To which Henry stated, "No, you called the same office, Mr. President."
So this happens with your grandmother or some people's parents. As they start getting older, you kind of just humor. It's like, all right, that's cool. You don't tell them or anything. But he's at that stage where he asked for Jake Sullivan, which is interesting because Jake Sullivan came up in my last, I don't know if it was my last live, the one with the congressional hearing. He came up as he's the one who was making all the calls in the Afghan pullout, which is really weird. It's really weird that an advisor was calling the shots for Anthony Blinken when they were pulling out of Afghanistan. Because I don't know if you guys remember, the congressman was like, "Hey, were you in charge or was Jake Sullivan? Why is an advisor doing this? An advisor's not elected." Nah, he doesn't know he's calling. He has no idea. Who knows who he calls randomly and just starts blurting out stuff to? They've gotten away with anything. Who knows what kind of deals he's made just bumbling. It's wild.
A couple weeks ago, I was like the last one in the office, and he called from my boss. And so I picked the phone and said, "Hello, Mr. President, it's Henry on Jake's phone. He's left for the day, but I can try to get him on the line for you." And he asked me some questions, and I was like, "I don't know, let me get the tracker down, so don't call his Secret Service detail." And he said, "No, it's okay, I'll call his he called me on the classified phone. So it's like I'll try his
classified phone.
Unclassified phone, and then he called, and then I was like, "Okay, well, let me know if you have any trouble." And then 10 seconds later, the same phone. I picked it up again. I was like, "Hi again, it's Henry." He was like, "Is Jake there?" And I was like, "No, you called the same office. Let me call the Secret Service detail for you." So I did.
How is this not national news? This moron, because even if he's lying, he has a position to where there's an ethical problem with just making up stories about your boss's boss's boss. So even if he's lying, he's just literally telling this random woman about a classified phone call that he got. Because Joe Biden called on a classified line. Pretty sure you can't disclose what you talk about, no matter what it is. And then he said, "Oh, you know what? I'll call him on his civilian phone." Okay, so you just talked about something that's classified. Doesn't matter what it is. It's the president of the United States calling on a classified line, on a secured line, and you're telling a woman you met on a dating website. Do you understand how dumb that is? Do you understand how dumb that is? 1 second. John Thompson. I appreciate you, sir. Thank you very, 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 very much. Thank you very much. People don't have to send anything, but when they do, I absolutely, oh, that's the wrong. I absolutely appreciate it. And I do not take that for granted at all. So thank you, sir. I appreciate you. What's going, Karcher? Karcher Mata-Jagger. So yes, John, I appreciate you, sir. Thank you very much. Well, that's it. That's right. Spelled it right? Yeah. All right. All right. So this dude is telling complete stranger, a woman he just met yesterday, or whenever this actually happened. He's telling her, hey, I had a conversation on a secured line from the President of the United States. This is what he said. It doesn't matter if he said hello. You can't talk about it. Or you're not supposed to.
Another encounter with President Biden, Henry Appel shared that President Biden had called the NSC White House phone while on a foreign trip looking for NSC advisor Jake Sullivan. Henry told the president that, in fact, Mr. Sullivan was not at the White House, but on the same foreign trip as President Biden.
Another time, my boss was on an international trip with him, like Europe or something, and the phone rang in the office, and I picked it up, and I was like, "Oh, Mr. President, Henry." He was like, "He's safe there." He's like, "No, he's traveling with you. He's on the same trip that you are." That was like a year ago.
It was a year ago. So Jake Sullivan's on a trip with him, and he calls back to the States to speak with Henry to find out if Jake is there. He's with you. And it's just spilling the beans. Yeah, ask him about the drones. I'm sure he'll figure it out. He'll just say it. Yeah, oh yeah, we know what it is. Again, he's talking about a private conversation he had with the president, and he's just telling some random chick. This is insane. How is this possible?
He's dead in a year, or he'll be like out of public life.
He just said he'll be dead in a year. He's talking about the current president of the United States. He'll be dead in a year. Look at his face. He's just happy as can be telling her. Look at his face. He just told her he'll be dead in a year. He's talking about the president. How happy and proud he is.
That was like a year ago. He'll be dead in a year, or he'll be like out of public life.
Henry Appel from the NSC even stated that President Biden did not understand basic words in meetings at the White House. Here's another experience he had with President Biden. Take a look.
Another time my boss went in to brief him, I heard the talking points, and I said, like, oh, this is like a novel phenomenon or something. Like, it's new, like, it hasn't been done before. My boss said like, it's a novel phenomenon. I was just like, novel? Like, what do you mean, like a book? Like, you mean novel?
He's humiliating the president of the United States in hopes that he can get laid. And he doesn't know that she's a reporter and that this is going to get out to the world. Now, regular media is not going to cover this. They're just not. They don't like this stuff because how they get the footage. They ignore what the footage says. Oh, we don't like that he didn't tell him that he was recording. Well, he doesn't have to in that state. But this is confirmation on what the right has been saying this whole time. Joe Biden is not there. But back to what CP3 said, he better be careful because he's admitting, don't matter how they got the information, he's admitting to a conversation that he had with the president, the sitting president of the United States. Is this an after the fact tell-all book? He's admitting in real time that this happened. One happened a year ago. We don't know when this stuff happened. He's admitting it on a secured line. It's secured because no one's supposed to know what you're saying.
Well, just like the word, like the true meanings of the word novel, like he lost them.
Henry Appel states that we, referring to his team at the National Security Council, were crying the night of Trump's victory, claiming they are all, quote, trauma bonded because of Trump's victory.
I gotta find a new job.
So everybody's probably like basically on the parade. What?
So wait, it's like drawn us closer to each other because like we're all going through it together. You know?
We shared trauma.
Yeah.
It's a trauma bond.
We're trauma bonded. Yeah.
Right. What was it like when you guys found out?
There were a lot of tears the next morning. Sure.
Then Henry Appel, National Security Council, shares to our undercover journalist that White House officials and national security officials are concerned about the incoming Trump administration coming after them for things they may have done wrong over the next 4 years.
This would be a good place to
like,
start.
I'm concerned about like them coming after us.
Wait, what? Like how, like legally or something?
Stress.
What would that look like?
I don't know, they make up like a fake scandal or
And just like put you in jail.
no, not in jail. Yeah, they'd like investigate us or whatever.
Well, maybe the new administration should come after this
Definitely.
national security advisor. After all, he is in the National Security Council and he's sharing secrets and spilling tea to a stranger in a restaurant.
So they're worried about legitimate stuff because they know what they've been doing this whole time. This is why they literally try to take shots at the man. They didn't try, they did. They had to. They are terrified that Donald Trump is going to go after corruption. It's not necessarily them, like they did something. They know that they've been corrupt. They're terrified that this administration is going to figure out exactly what happened. Because you can't destroy, well, you're not supposed to destroy communication. It's public. We're supposed to know it all. If it's classified, it's still supposed to be documented and kept, just redacted. And not anyone can look. But when somebody like Cash Patel comes in the FBI, he can look at everything. And they know the stuff that they've been doing. This is the only reason why I believe that a Biden administration inspector general would come out and say that there were 26 federal agents involved in January 6th. It's the only reason. Because they know it's going to come out anyway. We might as well put it out now. So now they're talking about investigating Liz Cheney because they said she was witness tampering during the congressional hearings. All of a sudden, stuff is getting leaked that has not been leaked this whole time. All these, like that congressional January 6th committee, that started right after it happened. So here we are, almost 4 years later, and all of a sudden we're finding out that she was witness tampering. I knew that. Did you know that? She was meeting with what was that chick's name? The blonde who was lying, saying that she heard Trump reached. He was in the presidential vehicle and he reached up and grabbed the steering wheel. All that stuff. Liz Cheney was meeting with her. She's not supposed to. She's not even supposed to know her. She was meeting with that chick. What was her name? I can't remember her name. Yes. And then I heard she was giving third-hand information. She heard from her boss, or she heard from somebody who heard from her boss, said that Trump grabbed the steering wheel and then he started choking one of the Secret Service agents. And then the Secret Service agents, both that were in the front seat, said that absolutely did not happen. They'll testify. And they never called them to testify. They just ran with the story. Hutchinson. I think that was her name. They just ran with the story. And people believed it. Trump was attacking Secret Service. I did videos on all of this stuff. Wild story. And the fact that anyone believed it was nonsense. You have to be an idiot to believe that stuff. But they did. They ran with it. And they know this administration is going to go in and find out what really happened. Who was coming up with these stories? Who's running the country? It ain't Biden.
Henry even goes on to say that on his dating profile, his greatest strength is, quote, oversharing on the first date. You can't make this shit up. Our OMG American Swiper asked Henry Appel if they thought Donald Trump would win the 2024 election. Henry also went on to mention that Biden's team felt like they got pushed aside by Kamala Harris.
That would be the person that you just said. You just said, "Oh, okay. Well, he just said he's going to overshare on the first date." What he does, so he literally put a target on his back. What if she was a spy, and she's got this idiot giving top secret information? Doesn't matter. This stuff is minor, but you don't know what they can get out of somebody who's this dumb. On his profile, it said he has a habit of oversharing on the first date. So stupid.
During the presidential campaign.
Don't you think Trump is going to win? Dad?
So I thought Kamala ran a terrible campaign.
What did she have?
She just doesn't believe in anything.
That's not good.
I know that like Biden and his team did not like that they got pushed aside.
Wait, so his people don't just harmonic follow?
In the last meeting with Henry Appel, Henry showed up to the restaurant, but he didn't find his date. He found me outside of the restaurant waiting for him. Here's part of that conversation. Hi. Henry? Henry Appel? National Security Council. Hi. I gotta ask you a question. What the hell is the guy who's an advisor to the National Security Council doing? Spilling the quote tea to an undercover journalist.
That's what makes James O'Keefe the greatest, because that's what he does. And I cannot tell you how many times he's done this to people, to government officials, bureaucrats. This he's not elected, and he's spilling the tea. He overshares on the first date. He's got a bad habit of doing that. That's really all I have for today, because I wasn't planning on doing this live. I really want to talk about the drones, but it's a long video that I want to go. It's several reports and stuff like that. I really, it's wild. That story is insane. So that's going to be my next live. Hopefully, I won't be too tired. So I told you guys what's happening right now is now I'm working. I get off at 3:30, but I don't get home till like 5:30. But I also work 10 hours, and I start work at 5:30. So it takes me an hour to an hour and a half to get to work. So my days are long right now, and then hopefully they get trimmed. But right now, when I get home, I'm done. And then I usually have to do something with the boys, with my son and my nephew. So that's why I haven't been going live. Last week I went live on both my off days. I was supposed to go live yesterday. I was too tired, man. I was too tired. So my next live will be on the drones. It's going to be phenomenal. I just can't say when it's going to be. So when I know for sure, I will schedule it nice and early so people know, because that's when I definitely want to have people come up. And if people want to come and talk about this, we can do that also. But when it comes to the drones, I will absolutely be having people come up. And if you want to come up and talk about it, because that story is wild. It doesn't make any sense at all. I don't understand why it's not a major story. The people talking about it are acting as if we're dumb. Again, this is what the administration has done the whole time. What are you talking about? There's no drones. Those are airplanes. Those are airplanes. Don't worry about it. You have police officers shooting at these things. You have governors. Now you even have the left. Chuck Schumer. You have several people on the left and right saying, hey, what is this? What are we doing? And the administration is telling them, it's not what you think. All right, what is it? Nothing. It's insane. It really is. They're playing in our faces like they've done the whole time. The beginning of the video that I just played was Biden saying, not all the schools are closed. The cost could be higher. The the gas is $6, but it could be $8 or $9. So I'm doing you a favor. They just lie right in your face. When he was talking about the Ukraine war, we are now over $250 billion. You know, he just authorized another $40 billion. He did to Ukraine just like a week ago. Not a big deal. We're now over $250 billion to Ukraine. Then the last round was for to help their economy. It's wild. There's a lot of McDonald's, man. That's a lot of McDonald's. So I wouldn't be surprised. But so now what they're saying is it's airplanes. Well, I don't want to even get into it because it's when you see the videos and you see the people who are actually credible people saying, no, this is not. We need to know what this is. You're gonna be like, you got to be kidding me. And I pull up everything, and some of these things are the size of a car. One credible person said that they saw one the size of a bus. And when you hear what the possibilities are of what it is, it's not good. I can tell you that. But why? The government's just sitting there waiting. I don't know what they're waiting for. They think that this is like the 80s where like when people would see a UFO, they would say, oh, I saw a UFO. They would just say, no, that's not what you saw. And just leave it alone, leave it at that. We're in an information age. You can't do that anymore. You can't just say what you're seeing is not what you think it is without saying what it is. And the government just seems to be doing what they've done this entire 4 years. Remember when they said this was going to be the most transparent administration ever? Let me look that up. Hold on. Biden says, because I remember this. It doesn't make any sense. Let's see. Here we go. 2022. Let's see if I can get a video. Those are better. Let's open this up. Look at this idiot. All right, I'm gonna pull it up right now. This is the idiot who interfered in the that one debate. Let's see. I don't remember her name. She just now did an interview. Here we go. Present. These people are insane. That's the one. I just Googled it. Share.
Mr. President, given the conditions that were just laid out at the migrant facilities at the U.S. border, will you commit to allowing journalists to have access to the facilities that are overcrowded moving forward?
I will commit when my plan very shortly is underway to let you have access to not just them, but to other facilities as well.
Oh, nice.
How soon will journalists be able to have access to the facilities? We've obviously been allowed to be inside one, but we haven't seen the facilities in which children are packed together to really give the American people a chance to see that. Will you commit to transparency on this issue?
I will commit to transparency. And as soon as I am in a position to be able to implement what we're doing right now, and one of the reasons I haven't gone down, I have all my chief folks have gone down, is I don't want to become the issue. I don't want to be, bringing all the Secret Service and everybody with me to get in the way. So this is being set up, and you'll have full access to everything once we get this thing moving.
Okay, and just to be clear, how soon will that be, Mr. President?
I don't know, to be clear.
Do you bear responsibility for everything that's happening at the border now? I hear you talking a lot about the past administration.
Never.
You decided to roll back some of those policies. Did you move too quickly
To roll back what, I'm sorry?
Policies. Did you move too quickly to roll back some of the executive orders of your predecessor?
First of all the policies are underway were not helping at all. Did not slow up the amount of immigration and as many people coming.
What's phenomenal about that is that shortly after this, well, actually, not even shortly, we reached an all-time high of illegal border crossings, and then now we are up to 10 million. 10 to 12 million people have crossed the border. But the policies weren't working at all. This dude's he's such a clown. He's such a clown. Several times he said that they will be transparent. Anyway, that's all I got. If nobody wants to hit the link, I appreciate you all. Mike Levin, thank you. Karcher Matajagger, thank you. CP3, thank you, sir. G Will, what's going on? Thank you, sir. John Thompson. Sorry about that. Just Jay, thank you. John Thompson. Sorry about that. And thank you very much for the Cash App. I appreciate you, sir. You were the stream sponsor. I will tag you in my description. I will put a lot of other things in my description. Amongst them is people that whose channels I frequent. Today, I'm going to put G Will's information in here. He has a company, so if you need merch or anything like that, G Will is your guy. Let me do this. This is the kind of stuff that he does. So he does custom apparel, t-shirts, embroidery, sublimation, tumblers, coffee mugs. If you need any of that stuff, get a hold of him. This is his IG account right here. Bam, bam, bam. For any of that stuff, he can hook it up. Let's see. So what I'm doing now, instead of putting everybody's links, I'm still putting them in my description, but it was taking a long time to log out. So now I'm just putting the people who were in the chat and then KB. Regardless, no matter what, I'm always going to put Kwame Brown's name as a channel that I frequent in case by some crazy chance that whoever's in here does not follow him. Definitely sub up to this man. We all owe him, whether you guys like him or not. Phenomenal job in this last election cycle. One of the most important people. And if you don't believe me, ask me how, and we can have a full-on conversation about it, because he absolutely was. But that's all I got. If you are new here, please like, subscribe, share, comment. I'm almost at 500. I think I'm still at 490 something. Almost at 500, which is crazy. Never thought that was going to happen. Never expected it to happen. Didn't even intend to start to do that when it was happening. I was just starting and doing videos in my car, and then I was like, all right, I got to start going live to engage with people instead of just me talking in my car. So like, subscribe, share. If you would like to provide a fresh wind, you can hit the Cash App. That would be great. I appreciate anything, absolutely anything, because I know you don't have to do that. And it is very humbling knowing somebody's taking money out of their pocket and giving it to me just so I can yap and run my mouth. That's phenomenal. This is my Rumble channel. If you are watching on Rumble, because I am simulcasting, this is my YouTube channel. Sub up. Help me get to 500. Share the live. Let's see. Because I think people need to see this kind of stuff and see what our government is doing and what these bureaucrats are doing. So when Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy recommend that we fire like 75% of government bureaucrats, you don't think, oh man, that's not cool. Because when you see what they're actually doing, which is nothing, it's pretty insane, and it's risky. And these people have no accountability. There's no one watching them. So again, I appreciate you all. With that said, I am